Okay, so I'm going to do a tutorial today on how to paint pumpkins. This is what we're going to be painting. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. I've had a lot of people ask me how to paint a simple pumpkin, and this is what we're going to do today. So some of you guys may have taken my paint class, and they're a lot of fun, but I wanted to share it on a video for those of you who couldn't come or maybe are shut in at home right now. So anyway, materials are a piece of wood, block of wood. This one's actually a little bit smaller than the one I used originally, but it doesn't matter. And this is a filbert brush, one of my favorites. Would you look at it? Okay. And the colors we're going to use: Kelly green, blue cotton, jack-o'-lantern for the pumpkins, and black to outline and make our stems. Okay, so you want to get you a paper plate or something, see mine's well used, and also some napkins. Always keep a roll of napkins around for messes. Okay, so go ahead and put about a dime size of orange. We're going to start with orange first to shape our pumpkin and work our way around. Okay, so let me back this camera up so you guys can see a little better. Also, so it's not my way, so let's do this. Okay. Alright, so this is an 8x8 piece of wood, and I love wood. It's really easy to work with, and you can stain it any color you want, so you have a pretty background. Okay, so first, I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, so first we're going to do a circular shape. Start with a circle. Now, this is the cool part because pumpkins are all different shapes and sizes, so if it's not a perfectly round shape, if it's more fat or more skinny, then that's perfectly alright. But you're doing like a half moon, working your way around. Right now I just want to get the shape of the pumpkin. You don't want to go too far over because you want to save some space for your little pumpkin. So just making a basic circle, just like that. Bringing each piece down, adding more paint as we go. Now, you want to keep it full, start filling it in, working your way towards the center. Okay, the center, there's always when you look at a pumpkin, there's a piece that almost looks full on, like when you look at it straight on. We're going to add our dividers, we'll add our dividers once this orange dries. These pieces here, these pieces right here is what's going to shape your pumpkin. So right now we're just wanting to get the basic orange on there so it looks like a pumpkin. They always start out looking like nothing, so alright, just fill it in. If certain areas of the pumpkin don't have as much paint, that's okay, because it just adds shading, gives it character. Like I said, all pumpkins are different, so if you think, oh my gosh, I messed up, or it's not perfectly shaped, then that's okay, because we're going to go back and clean it up in a sec. Okay, so there's our first pumpkin shape, that quick. Alright, I'll let that dry for just a second. I'm cleaning my brush. I'm going to do a dime size amount of blue cotton. That's going to be our blue pumpkin. So this acrylic paint, this is the acrylic paint from Walmart. Really cheap. They dry really fast, so they're great paints to work with, especially if you're starting to learn. You can about see that's almost dry. So I'm going to go ahead and work on it anyway, because we can cover it up. So you're going to start about midway down the pumpkin, and once again, do your circle. If you get a little bit of orange in it, it's fine. Trust me, it's fine. Oops, I stuck mine in the orange. Yeah. Let's go back. If you get orange in it, like I said, we're going to cover it up with blue. We're going to keep covering, so it's okay. I work really fast. I go at a fast pace. So you can stop this video, rewind it. That's why I'm recording instead of doing Facebook Live, because it's a lot easier for the people who are still learning and need or are working at a slower pace. Okay, so once again, it doesn't matter what this here looks like. This area, see where I didn't fill it in? Doesn't matter too much because we're gonna come back and we're gonna put twigs over it. See, like this picture? We're gonna cover up the imperfections. So don't worry if you don't get the bottom perfect. Just keep working it around. Alright, a little bit more blue on this side. This one I'm going to go ahead and shape up. Like I said, we're going to go back and draw over it anyway. I kind of like the orange and blue, how it blends together. Kind of looks like a reflection. I think it's cute. I like it. So if you want yours more solid blue, make it more solid blue. Make it your own. Okay, so we're going to go back and do the orange. Fill the orange back in, bring it down. On down to the bottom. I'm going to start my own YouTube channel. So if you guys want to like and share this video, that would be great. That would help me out. Gonna bring it into that one. Like I said, this bottom doesn't have to be perfect. Shaping up our pumpkin. You kind of want to go with the shape that you want. If your pumpkin's fatter, it's fine. We're going to go back and draw over it anyway. Okay. Pull it down. Down. Okay. I'm going to bring mine. Okay, I'm happy with it, but I want my blue one to be a little bit fatter. I don't like that perfect round softball looking shape, so I'm going to pull me an edge out here. Work it up just a little bit. I want it to have another little edge piece here, so I'm going to do that. And I'm actually going to bring it off the side. Don't be afraid to do what shape you want. Like I said, there's tricks to fixing the mistakes, so just go at it, have fun. Don't stress over what it's going to look like because trust me, no painting ever looks like anything when you start. It always looks like you've messed up when you begin. I don't know why, but it always does. So don't panic. There's ways that we're going to fix this. The more you add, the better it'll look. Like I said, you're shaping your pumpkins right now. Super simple. Just round. Go down in the front. I like making my front, I like going straight down because it's going to add that one section to the pumpkin. When you shape it up, it's going to give it more detail, more character. Alright, already got our pumpkins, guys. I'm going to go back and add a little bit more orange to my big pumpkin just because he's a little dim. So we're going to go back where our paint's already dried. And you do thin layers. You don't want to glob your paint on all at once. So you want to do your thin layers. That way it dries faster and you can add as much as you want. You can kind of have the color that you like. I'm doing these easy tutorials just in case you want to do projects at home and do crafts and you might want to add a little pumpkin to something that you've made. Like, you know. And so I'm doing this for my friends that want to paint and just don't really know where to start. Okay, it's looking a little better. There's a dark place here, so I'm gonna put a little bit of paint here, and I've about got the color I want on my little pumpkin. So I think I'm gonna leave him alone there for a second, let it dry. All right, so now next step. We're going to go to black. This is what's going to make your pumpkin officially look like a pumpkin. Because right now it looks like two little round blobs of nothingness. So, add your black, dime size amount of black or quarter size, whatever you, depending on how much you're going to add. Okay. Alright. And we're going to do black. Oh, my brush. This brush is an angle brush. I love these. This one. See the angle? It almost looks like a highlighter tip. These are great. You can make dots with them. You can draw with them. You can write with them. It's just a really handy brush. Okay. So we're going to start at the top. And all you're doing here is you're going to outline your pumpkin. A smooth, clean line. Outline there. Okay. And if you want to go a little wider with it, you can. It doesn't have to necessarily be a thin line. Like you can add, I can show you here. If you blend it a little bit, that's okay. Because this is not one of those perfect paintings. It's going to be one of those that's like primitive kind of looking. Alright, and we're going to start in the center. Everybody see what I'm doing? Okay. Again, we're making our lines for a pumpkin. So straight down, middle section. See how I made this one a little thicker at the bottom? That's okay. Go back up here. Go and blend it a little. Our paint's still a little wet, and that's fine because I want that look. So if your paint completely dries, that's okay. I want mine to be a little bit wetter looking. Alright, so again, we're working it around. So I'm going to put a line here. And I'm going to outline the edge. If you want more sections to your pumpkins, I've got 3 here. It depends on what angle you want it to look like at. I'm going to make my top a little darker for the shading, because we're going to put a stem on here in a minute. So I'm blending this in. You pull it down. Blend your lines. Just like that. Paint's still wet, so it blends real good. If your paint happens to dry, it's okay. You can add a little bit of water and then blot it on a napkin. And it's going to give you that wet, blended look. Alright, I'm going to make, let's see. Do my line. I don't like the 3 sections, so I've decided that I'm going to make another line that's going to look a little more blended right here. It's not going to be as defined as the other ones. I'm going to curve my bottom up so it looks like the pumpkin's got shape at the bottom. Okay. And I want it to be blended. See how it looks like it's got lines. Ta-da! Alright, stem. I'm going to make one stem going this way and one stem going this way, because I like everything to be the same. So to make a stem, come up and out, just like that, with the same angle brush, up and out. You can make it thicker at the bottom. Just blend it in, and voila, stem. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. We're gonna come back over and do some shading with white here in a little while. Okay, now I want to show you guys something. So this pumpkin here, the stem comes straight off the top, but this one is kind of in the center, and you have a back piece here. I'm gonna show you how to do that. All right, so to do that, you're gonna start at the bottom, bring your lines down. You're not gonna go all the way to the top. Just towards the bottom, shape it down. Shape your bottom of your little pumpkin. See, I got a line right there. Let me show you. Blend it in. I'm gonna wet my brush a little because my paint's gotten dry and I want it to be more blended. So just work it in, just like that. All right. If you get too much black, it's fine, because you can go back and add a little bit of blue. Almost anything that you do is fixable, so don't panic if you think, oh my gosh, I didn't want that there. All you gotta do is go back and cover it up. Again, at the bottom, come up and around. Come up and around. Okay. Got our basic shape there. Now, we'll have this back piece. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, mine's too big, mine's too little, whatever. Don't matter, because we're gonna draw it on anyway. Okay, so we'll make another shape back here. Bring this line on in. There we go. Now, time for our stem. This one's going to be different than the top one. We're going to make a line up, bring it in, line, bring it in. Super easy, y'all. So easy. Pumpkins are one of my favorite things to paint, because you cannot mess them up. You just basically draw them on as you go. There you go. And we have our 2 pumpkins. So, let that dry just a second. Alright, we're going to go back to our cotton blue, or blue cotton, whatever it was. And I'm going to add a little bit more blue here, because I've got orange on orange and I'm not loving it. So I'm going to go back and pull a little bit more blue in here, so it just brightens this blue up a little. You can leave a little bit in the background. Like I said, a little bit's good. I'm going to wet my paint a little bit, just a dab. Dab your brush and dab it back in your paint. Okay, here we go. If you have like brush marks, it's okay. Like I said, this is a rustic, easy painting, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm just going to brush a little bit of fresh blue in there. I'm putting it on thicker this time because I want the colors to show up better. So I'm brushing it on. Now sometimes when you're putting on paint thicker, it's not going to make it all the way to the bottom. So if you want the bottom brighter, you can come from the bottom and pull it up. You don't want as much in the center as you do on the bottoms and tops. Like this. Because you want that highlighted look. See how it pulls into the blue? Now, same thing here. Go and pull it up into the top. Start at the bottom, work it in. If you get into your black, trust me, it's going to be fine. Because like I said, this is going to have a lot of leaves and stuff on it anyway. Pull this down, around, right here. Just going to fill it in just a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to let this dry. Alright, now while everything's kind of drying, I'm going to go back and with just a little bit of white. You can go back to your Filbert brush. Filbert brush, this one's wet. I'm going to show you. It's rounded on top, so it's great for making shapes. Let's do a little bit of white. I'm literally just going to brush. I'm not going to make sure my brush is dry because I want it to go in a little thicker because I want it to kind of rub over the colors I already have. The more you paint, the more you'll figure out how paint, like the different textures of paint. I just want like a glare, almost from light on this one. A little bit of a glare. Okay, and then like even some right in here. With just a little touches of light. A little bit at the top to show your shape off. Okay, then come back on your little blue pumpkin. He's still a little wet, so that's good. Blend it in so it's not as blunt as your purple. Not as blunt as your orange. Just enough to get, looks like light shining off of him. Just brush it in. Don't have to be perfect. You're going to be surprised at the end how it looks. And if you decide to paint along with this video, post a picture on my Facebook page or post a picture below in comments or something. Let me see how you done. I'm excited. I love to help people learn. And I enjoy painting, and I want to encourage others to do it as well. It makes you feel good. Okay. So I'm just blending in. You don't have to go crazy with it. Just enough to give him some shape. Okay. There's our little pumpkins. Okay, so let's do our black. You should still have black. We're going to switch back to our angle brush. Angle brush, ta-da! Put it back where you can see it good. Okay. Now, we're going to draw our stems on. Okay, I'm going to give you another look at what we're starting with here. See our stems? So we're going to start at the middle and go up. Just making simple black lines. That is all. Simple black lines starting here, and you can make them anywhere you want to. I'm going to do mine here. You can make them a little thicker because you're going to have leaves coming off of them. And then you're going to start one here. That's a little too thin. Go back and get you some more paint. Bring it up. Put a little one right in the front because I left that little spot kind of bare. So I'm going here. Okay, got another one coming up here. Another one here. And you're going to think, oh my heavens, I've ruined my picture again. This looks ugly. It looks hideous. What have we done? That's what you're going to say. Because I've heard people say it in my paint classes. I'm like, don't panic. You're not done yet. It's going to be okay. Go back and fill this one in a little bit. He's a little bit clear. I'm actually going to do one more here. You can do as many as you want. If you want to get crazy with it and do a vine, go for it. Go for it. Do what makes you happy. Okay, so we're going to let this black dry just a minute. I'm going to go back with my filbert brush because that's what we're going to be using in a sec. Filbert brush. This one's actually a size 6. See my 6 on there? 6. Okay, so we'll go back again with the white. You don't want it to be wet. You're just going to brush on a little bit to outline your stem. I've got a little too much. Literally dry brushing this on. That's it. Down here on your white, and make it just blend just a tad. Just a tad, people. Don't overdo it because you don't want your stem to look like your pumpkin. Okay. We're going to start with our leaves. Hold on just a second. Baby's crying. Gotta take a break.